Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. Sorry, I keep getting a frog in my throat and it's really quite distracting, so I apologise. Anyway, I thought that I would bring you a very personal video, but I feel like it might help somebody. So this is going to be a bit of a series. So I've mentioned it before, but I've not spoken about it openly. So I have ADHD. It runs in the family. And the only reason I knew I had it was when my brother mentioned that he had it. So it's definitely a family thing. And I believe that ADHD is genetic. My wife also has ADHD and ours are so different. It's very different from each other. We have very different ways of, our brain works in different ways, but we still both have it. We have some traits that are similar. Mine present itself in the hyperfocus, losing time. I'm very, very messy. I struggle. I have doom boxes. If you don't know what a doom box is, it's where you have a bag or a box that you put everything in just to sort of tidy. I struggle a lot with imposter syndrome, and although that's not a trait of ADHD, it is because I worry that I'm not concentrating enough. I'm easily distracted. I tend to only want to do the things that I'm interested in. And that can be really difficult when you have to earn a living. Luckily, I have a job that I am interested in, so it helps me to focus. I mean, if I was to just be able to plan every day and be creative, that would probably be where my main focus is. However, I plan, and I have a lot of planners, as you can see here. In fact, I have another one here that I can't really show you because it's my work one. But I plan because I need structure. I struggle with just the overwhelming feeling of having so much to do. And I use my planners when I need to work out how to deconstruct tasks. So I thought I would bring you a bit of a series. So that's a bit about me and my ADHD. I thought I'd bring you a bit of a series because I want to show you how you can plan with ADHD, because I think a lot of people who have ADHD struggle to actually decide how they're going to do it. And then I'm going to show how planning can help your ADHD. So I thought I'd show you mine first. So the first sort of part in this series is taking a walk through how I decided what I was going to do. So I've always been creative. I've always loved writing things down. I'm not the best at anything, but I certainly feel happy when I'm doing creative things. And when I found the planner community last year, and I found that especially the Hobonichi and the Wonderland 222 planners, it made me feel like I was able to do something I really love to get something really functional out of it. And it's helped me to change some of the habits that I really struggle with. For example, and I talk about this a lot, especially in my self-care planner, and I'll show you in a moment, I struggle with remembering to brush my teeth and have a shower. And it's not because I don't want to do it. I have no problem with that. But I just struggle remembering to do it. And by the time I've remembered, it's too late. And that's losing time is a very typical thing for people with ADHD. I'm sure it's a neurotypical thing as well. But personally, it's something that I struggle with. And also I struggle with focus time. So I know that around 3-4 p.m, that you're not going to get any work out of me. And I know that I'm more of a morning person and an evening person when it comes to focus. So if I wake up at 7 in the morning and start work straight away, I will get loads done. If I fit like during the actual daytime, that's when my brain goes crazy. And in the evening, I can, at about 9 o'clock, I can just switch everything else off and I can work. And it's really weird because I didn't realise that there was a pattern until I started seeing where my less focused times. I get so tired at 3-4 o'clock. This has been happening for years. Around 3-4 p.m, I just want to have a little snooze. I really struggle to keep my eyes open, and it's because my brain is so full. I'm really struggling. And of course, there's masking that you do when you're at work. There's stuff that you have to think about, and your brain is in chaos. So I use my planners to help me to unmuddle things. But I also don't want to get into this, and I struggle with this as well, oh my God, I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much, and I'm planning more than I'm actually doing the things that I need to plan for. And that's what I had to take a step back from and simplify things, etc., etc. So let me just have a sip of coffee. Lovely. Okay, so I have got here my Wonderland 222 planner. This is the undated one that I've been practicing in before I start my all-in-one. It's got the same weekly layout. It's got the same layout, it's just got less pages. So I've got that to show you in a minute. I'll just keep the clamp on it. I've got my Hobonichi Techo 23 Cousins Spring that I did start around May time, although it came out in April. And I've got my Hobonichi Weeks that I used for health and well-being. This was to plan out family stuff. This was the Hobonichi Weeks for health and well-being, and this was the Hobonichi Weeks for work, which I have to say has been the most used consistently. All the others I've sort of gone into, come out of, tried different things, etc., etc. So let's start with the self-care planner. So the reason I started this was to try and organise my thoughts a little bit, and of course I have been a bit creative, but I wanted to organise my thoughts a little bit, and I wanted to track how I was feeling, and I wanted to track my periods, as well as sort of getting together things like a meal plan, my feelings and my health. I wanted to talk about those. I wanted to write down my steps. And I started to write down things. I was tracking things at the beginning. This didn't work for me. This was like, I don't know what I was doing here. I was trying to put in tasks in here, and I didn't need to really, if I'm honest. Then I was just doing a little sort of how I feel, but a bit bigger. So again, I don't know, it didn't work for me. I did continue to write my steps. That did work. That was something that I can do. I talked about my habits, my feelings, my health, and I tried to keep the mood tracker up. This was before I put it in the monthlies. Oh, everything's stuck together. I tried to track my water, but I was really rubbish tracking my water. I'm not going to lie, it's terrible. Doing it this way especially, it was really bad. I continued to write my dinners down, and I continued to write my steps down. So that was becoming a habit. And then I went into, I kind of don't know why I was writing this stuff in, because I have to be honest, it didn't add anything. The only thing that I was consistent with was writing in what I was having for my meals in the week, and then writing in my steps. I tried it this way where it was just trackers, but that did not work for me. That didn't work. So I went back to the way that I was doing things again. I much prefer that. And then I started doing this. This, I have to say, was probably the thing that I appreciated more, but I didn't keep up with it. And I want to keep up with it because it did help me to at least say, come on, brush your teeth and shower. So this was a self-care planner. So it was sort of pushing me to wake up early, because we were trying to do mornings where we were getting up and being productive. Shower, brush teeth, wash hair. My hair only needs to be washed once a week because I've got curly hair. So I've put that in there once a week, blocked out all of those. Do 10k steps. And I've actually changed that because that was too overwhelming for me. I've changed that just to dog walking. and then me time. I was tracking my water here, which I actually found useful, and the sleep. I found these trackers easier than the colouring in trackers. And I still wrote down sort of how I was feeling, etc. And look, I carried it on. I have to say this was probably where I did it the best on this one. I also was tracking whether I was taking my inhaler. And I might move that into here, might do more like, I want to take my vitamins every day. I want to take my medication every day. And I've got to take my inhaler twice a day, like every 12 hours on the dot, just because then I'm more prone to having a better airway. I'm really struggling at the moment. Then I started putting in my weight tracking, which I want to do again next year. And I didn't do it every week. Oh, these are really stuck. Such a shame. There we go. And then I started doing this thing where I was doing the trackers. I was doing my weight, and then I was doing my dinners and what I needed to do. I don't think that worked for me when it came to self-care. It did on this one. This one actually went quite well. And then it just started to slip off. You can see I started to get overwhelmed by the planner, and I was just trying to do too much in here. It just wasn't working for me. So it slipped off. And then I've been trialing new things in here, how I'm going to be more minimal, because these are all sticker filled, and that takes a lot of time. Not to set up, but it doesn't need to be that sticker filled for me. I think I just need to have a very clear structure, something that I've put together. So I'll show you the one for, here we go. No, I haven't got a self-care one in here. I've just got the ones that I've been trialing. So this is what I've been doing. So I was also trialing things like a to-do list where I was brain dumping and just trying to get everything down. I'll talk about that in a minute. And I was just trialing different things that were more to do with productivity and getting stuff done. So I'll talk about that in a minute. But my self-care planner is going to be very different. And I'll link a video down below where I talk about the structure of my self-care planner, because it is very, very personal. It will be all about me and how I'm feeling and trying to, guide myself through this ADHD. So the other thing is, so you're thinking, well, there's so much here. Why have you done it in different planners? If I had one planner for everything, it'd be overwhelming. I have to break things down into things that makes sense. So self-care and well-being makes sense. I can keep it all in one place. I can compartmentalize and keep it there. And I don't have to worry about not filling anything out if it's in there. With the Hobonichi Techo, this was very much a catch-all for the family. You can see here I have been quite good at keeping this. So, I did spread after spread. I really found this really fun. I had such a good time filling in these spreads and just creating new things. And did it help? This was more sort of like put the stuff in, as in like your diarised stuff, and then add in memories, like what I went back and filled it out a lot of the time, or I did it daily mainly. It did help me to have a little to-do list at the top. And I always used to say I'll only put 3 things a day to remember to do, because otherwise it becomes overwhelming. Did I go back and fill this out sometimes? Did I put little tasks like take vitamins and then also track that over here? Yes, I did, because I just felt like it's more about, the more I write it down, the more it goes in. So like here, I haven't ticked these off, but I know I did do some of the stuff that I did. I never put in a weekend to do ever, because I don't like to plan the weekend. And it, again, becomes really overwhelming if there's too many things. I tried to do things like cleaning in here. It didn't work. I want to do more habits and cleaning habits. And what I'm going to do is similar to the productivity tracker that I had in this planner, and the same in my other planner, because they do work. I'm going to have a cleaning one. So I'll use that in my A5 Wonderland 222 that I'll be using next year. I really enjoyed taking a day and a sticker and just putting my highlight in. I just love this spread so much. But I enjoyed it for all of like 4 months, and then unfortunately it fell off a cliff and I haven't done it since. I have to admit, when I have structure where I'm at work and the kids are at school, I find that so much easier to plan. As soon as my structure is just off kilter, even by a small bit, I struggle. I never realised that the summer holidays would kick me out of my structure. And I never realised how difficult it was going to be not having that wake up in the morning, go to work, like all of that. I really struggle to plan when I haven't got that structure. So I need to just be a little bit more easier on myself. So what I have done is, I don't like waste at all. I think I just have never liked waste. So I am still using things, and I'm using this to work out spreads for the future. Like these 2 pages I'll probably still use to work out how I can time block. And maybe for some videos and research and development videos, especially with the ADHD one, which I will come to, that will be used for that. So for me, like what I wanted still was that creative outlet. And I really did enjoy the fact that I could do that in here. But once again, my ADHD brain works in, I have a 12-week, I call it my 12-week ADHD hyperfocus. Whenever I get into something, it lasts 12 weeks. And I'm so focused on it. Like, it's really odd. This is the one thing that I have done consistently. I filled a whole journal this year with gratitude and manifestation, and that was amazing. Like, I actually filled the front to back. I couldn't believe it, and that was 3 months. But after that 3 months, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get back into the swing of things. And I know that I have these 12-week stints of something, and it's the same in here. It's the 12 weeks. So it would be really good, actually. I think maybe if I found a planner that was 12 weeks only. I think there is someone that does that. I feel like Take a Note does a 12-week one. And that would be really good for me. But I don't like the planner. I want it to be like this. I prefer the layout of these. So I thoroughly enjoyed playing around with this. Again, I won't go into stuff. There is a lot that I've missed here. There's loads of pages, but I will fill them up because I absolutely adore the paper. And I'll use it for notes. I'll use it for planning videos. This will not go to waste. Like I said, I don't like waste. I love that this was getting sort of chunky. Look at her. She's so good. I mean, it's thinner at the top and it's definitely more chunky at the bottom. And my brain and how I used this for ADHD was just to filter everything out, get it all out. You know, the chaos that I have in my brain consistently needed an outlet. That creative outlet was really required. I will talk about this, but I won't show you it in here because it's got confidential information. This is my work planner, and my goodness, does it work for me. So I have a new layout, but it was always similar. So this is my new layout. I put all my meetings down here, and I've got those in my Outlook. I put all my tasks in here, which is absolutely brilliant for me when it comes to work, because I can work out what ones are the things that I need to do Monday to Friday. Obviously here, this is another notes page. I've actually changed that in there to just be a line so that I can use it for more notes. It's actually for next week, tasks for next week. I put all my priority tasks, and it's just one. For me, it's all about, if I put more than one priority in here, I would struggle so much. My brain cannot handle more than 3 tasks a day and more than one priority. Like, it just has to be that way for me to do something. I can brain dump a to-do list as I'm working and add it into here. And I don't mind doing that because I can put it in and then I can at least work out where it's going to go in my task list. I've got a productivity which includes my clearing my inbox every day from work, adding things to a specific place that I need to daily. I have a weekly thing that I have to do, so I put that in there because it's something that I have to do all the time and I want to keep it going. That's when I add it into there. So that is really useful for me. And then I've got my brain dump, and that can be notes, it can be more to do, it can be anything I want, but it's just this little space down here. I also find that the back of the note, here we go, the back of the notebook I can use really easily. This was just a packing list, but for work I do tend to put like the date and then do my notes from each meeting, and so it's all in one place. For next year I have the week's mega for that, because I do take a lot of notes for work. And so I can keep all productivity and everything I need to do simple in here. And then I put it in the back. I have another week's for next year, and it is for social media. And again, I was basically using my work one for social media and work. I've split them out. It was becoming too overwhelming. So that's why I've got an extra week's for next year. So I would put down what Instagram posts I would want to put up, what YouTube I wanted to put up, the stats, and then so I could see increase, what I wanted to focus on. Again, just 2 things, and then I've got a breakdown, and I think this helps me a lot and my brain. Take photo, edit, upload to Insta, like all those things that I do to make sure these stay focused. And of course I always give myself some space to write notes. I just find it so much easier. So this works for me. Sorry if everything's moved. I had to stop filming for a second there. So that is how I used my planners. So I had one for work and social media, one for self-care, one for family and all of that sort of memory keeping. So that was what I broke it down into. And of course, as you know, I have changed my planner system somewhat. I've got one for work solely, because that really works for me. I've got one for social media solely, which is this layout. I've got one for self-care that has a bit more room for me to do the things I want to, because I want to manifest in there. I want to show gratitude. So it's sort of combining some things that I was doing already, and just making sure that it's in one place. I've got my family catch-all again, but I also have my planner for my shop, for my stationery shop. And you see, this is where I give myself so much to do, and it's because what I'm passionate about, that's when I do the things that I want to do. And it's absolutely crazy, because if I could just get some good habits, I can and find a way to have good habits when it comes to focusing and not having distractions. That really does mean that I am more productive, and that's something that I'm working on for 2024. So that's a little bit about me, my ADHD, and then the next video in the series is going to be about how to use your planner to be more productive, and especially when you've got ADHD. And as I mentioned, not everybody with ADHD has the same symptoms, but there are some things that are similar. So I don't want to group everybody together. And then finally, I'm going to talk about what things I did to make planning easier for people while having ADHD, because I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by planners, and I think a lot of people do too much and try to do too much that in comparison to other people, especially when you've got ADHD. Sometimes you compare yourself to others, and it's just not necessary. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. If you want to join me, I hope you do. This series is something that I've really been researching. I've been taking a lot of time developing my ideas. If you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to leave a comment, please do. I try and reply to all of them, and hopefully you'll want to subscribe. So if you do, that would really make my day. I really hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.